For this video essay, I'll be looking at how teams are formed for team-based learning activities. Through interviews, I will get student and faculty perspective. I'll also look at the literature and then suggest a model that I feel has merit. Why use team-based learning? There's several advantages. One is for large classes, it helps manage. It also develops students' higher skills. It supports at-risk students, develops interpersonal team skills, and it's also a pretty interesting activity for faculty. Is team-based learning really understood? Is it matter in which the way the teams are formed? Are there different methods that are established? Is diversity important within the group? And how can this team formation process be expedited? Often the terms group work and teamwork are used interchangeably. For our purposes, we'll be using the word teamwork. Group work is somewhat the opposite of teamwork. Listen to Stephen Murphy's description.
To me, when you're talking teamwork, you're talking more organized, more formal. You're talking about the roles and the responsibilities and clarifying those, the stages that the teams go through. I think as a faculty member, when we're talking about team-based learning and collaborative learning, I think it's important that we are able to support the environment. Most importantly, setting out clear goals and objectives for the students. That involves assessments, evaluations, what the expectations are from them all the way along.
So team-based learning is intentional learning. The teacher has to take responsibility to create an opportunity to make the learning happen, and they also need a reliable and effective method to support the learners. In my action research activity, students in their final semester of a 2-year program, in teams of 4, create a business plan for a 50-seat restaurant in the Ottawa area. In speaking with George Cole, Ombudsman for Algonquin College, the topic of group work, he notes, is of interest to the Office of the Ombudsman. And in the last annual report of particular relevance to this essay are comments from students regarding group formation.
Students are coming into the college experience and not really feeling confident to be navigating those groups or teams from the onset. So they are asked to, in a particular course, they might be asked to join a group or a team to work together. They might be welcome to having different roles and the faculty member having everyone sort of rotate through the different roles in a team, but the actual just developing the team or identifying one can bring a lot of anxiety to a student just entering the post-secondary level and not having that confidence to navigate that situation. Those students are feeling already disengaged or already at a disadvantage, if you will. And of course, it might be the simplest way for a faculty member perhaps to say, you know what, just get yourselves in a group of 6 or whatever that looks like, and then we'll talk about what it means, what the tasks are next, timelines, that sort of thing. But for a number of our new students coming in, they don't have that skill set yet.
I think it's more reasonable, right? It probably sets you up for a better chance of success. Again, you have so many factors coming into play, including personality and things like that. But yeah, that's probably your best bet, because the random, it certainly can present issues as well. And when you're dealing with students self-selecting, there's always students that will also be left out on the other side of things. I think the expectations we talked about, providing clear expectations up front.
There are several different established methods for team formation. We'll look at each one in turn briefly. The biggest concern with the student-selected team model seems to be the potential that existing relationships may interfere with the development of a strong team dynamic, and perhaps a failure to hold others accountable. This model would group the strongest academic students on one extreme and those struggling, ESL students or international students, on the other. I'm concerned that a learning activity that generates an extremely divergent group curve may illustrate ineffective teaching strategy. Some may consider this process time-consuming. Do we use a Myers-Briggs indicator to gather data? Do we employ a complex algorithm? Or do we design a questionnaire to observe group members' perceptions about the knowledge and skills they've previously developed? In this team model, only the criteria being the number of students within each team is considered, not their skills or knowledge. As one student said to me, if the teacher is just doing a random method, what difference does it make if we just pick our own? In this model, 2 steps are used. We rank the students based upon something quantifiable, such as their GPA, and then we randomly select one candidate from each tier and assemble them into the final teams of 4. Students have no choice. It is, however, readily apparent to the students how the students were divided and may therefore give an impression of elitism. It may also leave learners to conclude that the top-tier student is the de facto leader. If we believe that collaboration and differences are reasons to use team-based learning, then diversity is an asset. We must also accept that there will be variation in the learning and knowledge building that individual students experience. All members of the team may not learn the same thing, but the range of their skills and the abilities are precisely why this learning model is so powerful. The literature on team formation reinforces the importance of using teacher-created, criterion-based teams to ensure the best educational result. The team learning activity, including team formation, should be planned and intentional. I propose a modified stratified random assignment model called KIST, K-S-T-S-T. Give me a minute to explain. In step 1, we stratify the students. We may use something existing like a GPA or a grade from a prerequisite course of the same subject, or we perhaps want to administer a short test, perhaps 20 questions, 5 questions from each of 4 categories of essential skills or knowledge. Here I'm sorting the students using Excel. After sorting the students in step 1 using Excel, I tier the students into quadrants. Here I no longer refer to the groups by number to reduce a perception of elitism. Here I am using suits of cards. The purpose of the team project is to appreciate the value of the individual as a team member. I will, however, for the purpose of this example, sometimes refer to the numbers of 1 to 4, for clarity only. At this point, you'll be tempted to just let the class randomly choose one team member from each of the tier classification. Resist the urge to do so, no good will come of it. In step 3 of the KISS model, you're going to take 5 names from group 1, the spades group, which is now called spades, and exchange it for 5 within the second group, the clubs group. It doesn't matter which ones they are, it can be done randomly. We may have used an academic rank to form the groups, but ultimately we'll have 2 students of the higher rank per team anyway. This step is intended to reduce a sense of implied leadership or superiority within the groups. Step 4 is called the speed bump question, similar to speed dating. We're going to divide the room in half, and on one side of the room we'll put the 10 spades and the 10 diamonds, which were group 1 and 3, and on the other side of the room we'll put the 10 clubs and the 10 hearts, group 2 and 4. There is an individual question that each student will answer to give some insight into their understanding of the activity. Once everybody has presented, teams can now mutually choose. So the spades and the diamonds will get together and choose a partner, and the hearts and the clubs will get together and choose a partner. Again, this is a mutual choice. One does not choose another. They find a mutual partnership. In step 5, we now have to create the teams of 4 from the partners of 2. I have 3 suggestions. Random and self-select are pretty obvious. Speed bump finale is the one I recommend. In step 5 of the KISS process, we're going to form teams of 4. Active listening is a skill that can be developed and used to resolve team issues should one arise in the future. In this situation, each partner will take a minute to quietly explain their idea for the new restaurant to their partner, location, style of food. Then the other partner does the same. In front of the whole class, each person in turn introduces their partner to the class and repeats the partner's ideas. Now the teams of 2, the partners, can now thoughtfully mutually choose another partnership to create their team of 4. Team-based learning can be a very powerful learning activity. By forming teams with intention, making students accountable, putting thought into the learning assignment, and providing timely feedback, educators can provide the opportunity for students to learn concepts and apply knowledge to authentic challenges and make complex decisions in a team environment. By using the KISS strategies to support team formation, it is hoped that teams will have an advantage. There's intention, students have insight into peers prior to choosing their partners, and there's a clear process for the teacher. I believe this small investment in time will pay dividends over the term of the learning activity.